Okay, so we are continuing with the power system stability lectures. So this is coming under your module 6, and this is part 2 of this power system stability lecture. And today we will be mainly discussing about steady state stability. In the last class we just gave an introduction about power system stability and what is the importance, why we are conducting the stability analysis, especially for a synchronous machines, and how we are conducting that analysis. It is actually the analysis we are doing whether there is a change in synchronous speed, or the machine is losing that synchronism, or if there is any change in the frequency, and what will be the change in rotor angle. Those things we are checking in case of this stability analysis. And there are 3 types of stability. One is steady state stability, and another one is transient stability and dynamic stability. So this is the first classification, steady state stability. We know that in a steady state stability, in the case of steady state stability, the change of load will be very small and it will be gradual. So these points are very important. The load change is very small and gradual. Therefore, yesterday in the last class we have mentioned that the angle between rotor axis and stator axis, we can say this is rotor axis and stator axis, can be taken as the rotor angle delta, and this since the change of load is very small, the change in the rotor position will be negligible. So change in delta will be negligible. Therefore, for this analysis, we are using a static model by using the power flow equation, by finding the solution of power flow equations. This will be clear when we discussing about transient stability, because in transient stability analysis we are not using this method. We will be using a dynamic model that is different. But here we are using a static model, that is by the solution of power flow equations. So these things you may be studied, you should have been studied in synchronous machines. So this is a basic representation of a synchronous machine. That is, I have already mentioned that we will be concentrating our analysis in a synchronous machine. So a synchronous machine is basically having a field system which is given by a DC supply and an armature, 3-phase armature system. So we can, even though there is a 3-phase windings in stator, we can consider it as per phase, because all the phase will be similar in a balanced condition. So now, if we are considering the stator, there are 3 phases, 3 windings are there. Now whenever the field circuit is rotated and stator is stationary, field circuit will be having a flux phi m. Since it is given by a DC supply, a flux is produced. Now it is rotated at a speed ns, that means there is a relative variation of flux. So according to Faraday's law, an EMF will be induced at this stator terminals. So an EMF is induced, and whenever load is connected, that is electrical power is taken out from this output terminals, a current will be flowing, IA, we can say it is armature current IA, and will be getting a voltage across the load. So this is the voltage V. Now E is the source, E is the origin. Whenever field is rotated, EMF will be induced, and V is the result. So this is very simple electrical network. We can represent as a per phase circuit such that E is the source and V is the output load. So here this E is represented here and V is represented here. What is the angle between these two? These all things you studied in case of synchronous machine. Angle between E and V is delta. Usually what we will be doing, V will be taken as the reference, that is V angle 0, and the angle of E from that vector is taken as delta. So E angle delta and V angle 0. I, this is armature current, I is the angle, and this winding will be having a resistance and a reactance, that is R and X. Totally we can say this is impedance Z angle theta. So this is the very simple representation. Now we have to find the power here. Why we are doing this? Because we have to we have to find the power flow equations for the steady state analysis. So now we are finding the power, total power, apparent power S, which includes both P and Q. So how we will be finding usually V into I conjugate. So V is its polar form is mod V angle 0. So this is V. And how we can write I? I is the current flowing from this side to this side to this side. Now how we can say this is the higher potential? E is at a higher potential. Since it is a generator, E will be more. So we can say this current will be difference of these two voltages divided by total impedance. So E angle delta minus V angle 0 divided by impedance. In this case, so normally we will be assuming R equal to 0. So here R equal to 0. So if R equal to 0, X Z angle theta, what will be theta? Theta will become 90 degree. So mod X angle 90 degree. From this we are finding first its conjugate. So this will be mod E by X into angle delta minus 90 minus mod V by mod X into angle minus 90, and taking the conjugate means mod E by mod X into angle delta minus 90 will become 90 minus delta. All the angles will become its we are just reversing that order, and mod V by mod X angle 0 minus 90, that negative will become positive, 0 minus 90 will become plus 90. That is the only change happening when we are taking the conjugate, and we are multiplying with this V angle 0. From that we can find this P will be its cosine component, whatever we are getting here, and taking its cos component will give you PE. So when we are taking the cos component means here it will be mod EV by X into cos of 90 minus delta, it will become sin delta. So EV by X into sin delta, and it will be here, it will be cos 90 will be 0. So that second part will be 0. So this is our expression for power output, P equal to EV by X into sin delta. So this is the expression for active power output at the load terminal. Now if delta equal to 90 degree, we can say P will become P max, maximum power, which is known as steady state stability limit. This is very important. Whenever delta equal to 90, this power will become maximum. Sin 90 is 1. Its maximum value will be at delta equal to 90 degree. So it is known as steady state stability limit. So P max or steady state stability limit will be equal to mod E mod V by mod X. Now how we are finding, how we are checking the system is stable or not? So we can consider this is our expression, P equal to EV by X into sin delta, EV by X into sin delta. So sin delta, or we can say P will be directly proportional to sine delta, or what will be the curve we are obtaining? P versus delta curve will be a sinusoidal curve. P here, we are taking P here and a delta here. So it will be a sinusoidal. That means at delta equal to 0, P equal to 0. At delta equal to 90, P will be maximum, and after 90 degree, it will be decreasing. So it will be a sinusoidal curve. So where this will be maximum at 90 degree. So this is 90 degree, and at 90 degree we are getting that steady state stability limit. So this is the point we are discussed earlier, SSSL, steady state stability limit, or P max. Now we know that generator is producing this PE, and load requires this PE. So PE is required by the load and it is delivered by the generator. So whenever load requires PE, generator has to deliver that. Now when load increases, you studied this in synchronous machines, when load increases, delta, load angle will also increase. When load angle increases, what will happen to PE? PE will increase. PE, or power produced by the synchronous generator, will increase. So you know that when load increases means it requires more power. That power is now delivered by the generator. This is satisfied because load increases means it requires more power. So by increasing delta, this relation is now satisfied because PE increases and it delivers that required power to the load. This will happen up to which point? Up to 90 degree. After 90 degree, what will happen? When load increases, that means it requires more power. Again, load increases means again delta increases only. But after 90 degree, when delta increases, you can see from this figure, when delta increases, what will happen after 90 degree? PE, this is PE actually, PE decreases after 90 degree. PE decreases, but it should not happen because when load increases, PE should be increased, but now PE decreased. So what will happen to this system? Load requires more power, but generator is not delivering that power. So that difference will increase and the system will become unstable. That is why we are saying after 90 degrees system will be unstable. So here it will be unstable. So after 90 degree it will be unstable. And here the system is stable. Up to 90 degree system is stable. So 90 is the critical point. 90 is the critical point for this stability. Steady state stability. Now the stability is steady state stability, and 90 is the critical point. That is why we are calling this point as steady state stability limit. That 90 degree point is known as steady state stability limit. Okay, so this is very, very important. Beyond 90 degree, any change of load results in the increase in rotor angle but the decrease in electrical power output. Thus the synchronous generator may lose the synchronism. Similarly for motor also. Actually this is in case of generator that we discussed now. This part is discussed now. So up to 90, this is the 90 point. So beyond this will be stable here. It is unstable here. For the motor, this side will be for motor. In case of motor, the difference is like delta will be negative because in a generator E is produced first, then V. So whatever the angle we are taking in case of if this is V and this is E, vector will be like this, and we will be taking an angle from here to here. If you are taking like this, let us say this is positive, so we are taking plus delta. But in case of a motor, this will be, if V here, E will be here because it will be lagging back EMF. This it is produced later, and the angle will be taken from E, always from V. That is the reference, but here the arrow mark opposition, just opposite, so it will be minus delta. So delta will be negative, that is the only change. So whenever delta is negative means P will be also negative. So just reverse, P is negative. Because there the P is delivered, generator is delivering, but here P is absorbed. So it is negative. So in motor also the same, similar thing, only up to this point it will be stable, up to minus pi by 2, and beyond that it will be unstable. So these points you should remember in case of a steady state stability. What is steady state stability limit and how we are finding that? Steady state stability limit is the point at delta equal to 90 degree where the maximum power EV by X. Okay. Now this is another representation for stability analysis, is synchronizing power or electrical stiffness. It is just the derivative of PE, dP with respect to delta. That means the PE is EV by X into sine delta. If it is differentiated with respect to delta, what we will get? We will get EV by X into cos delta. So the same thing, only if delta is greater than 90, then this will be negative, because if beyond delta, beyond 90 degree, cos delta will be negative. So dP by d delta is negative and it will become unstable. So this is a cosine curve actually, and it will be getting like this. This is the 90 degree point, and we can say this stability will be decreasing from whenever delta is increasing, stability will be decreasing. So you can actually, what is the speciality of this dPe by d delta? That means earlier we are discussing like this is like a sine curve. That means at first it is increasing and it is becoming a maximum and decreasing. But here it is every point it is whenever delta is increasing means it is inversely, every point it is inversely proportional only. That means that possibility of losing the synchronism will be decreasing whenever delta is, that we can clearly obtain from here. It is directly or inversely proportional at every point. So we can say what will be the best condition, whether delta should be more or delta should be less. The best condition that if delta is less, then it will be more stable. Whenever delta is near to 90, chances of losing the stability increases. So the best condition is delta should be less. But what is the problem? If delta is less, what will be the problem? We know that EV by X into sine delta, P, equation for P, EV by X into sine delta. Whenever delta is less means electrical power output, PE decreases. This is PE. PE decreases. So what we can do at smaller value of delta, how we can increase PE? We have to increase this term. If this is more, this is the condition can be improved. So what is this EV by X? This EV by X is actually defined as P max or steady state stability limit. So for the stability, to improve the stability, that means delta, to decrease delta, we have to increase EV by X or steady state stability limit. What we can do for that? Either we have to increase E, or we have to increase V, or we have to decrease X. There are three methods we are employing to improve steady state stability limit. So what is E? How we can increase E? Increasing the excitation of the motor or generator or both, so that internal EMF are increased. So excitation increased. Generator, how we are increasing the excitation to the generator or motor? Synchronous. This is about synchronous machine. Excitation, increasing excitation means more DC supply is provided. Then more current will be, more field current will be flowing here and more flux will be produced. Whenever flux is more means more EMF will be induced across the stator terminals. When more induced EMF is when induced EMF is increased means it will increase the P, steady state stability limit. Now operate the system at higher level of voltage. Again V is increased. If more at higher voltage level, if it is operated, And but there is an issue with this, because whenever voltage is increased means insulation level will be increasing, so more insulation is required, because insulation is always depending on the voltage level. Now the third method is, this is the best method actually, reactance is decreased. There are some methods, this may be, you may be studied all these parallel lines, double circuit lines, bundled conductors, series capacitors in power system 1. You have studied all these methods. So these are and other methods to reduce the reactance. So by using all these methods, we are improving steady state stability limit, or P max, such that we can operate the system at a low value of delta, and the steady state and the stability can be improved. So these things are about steady state stability. We will be continuing in the next class. Thank you.